Good day. This is Chuck Terry again with Crescent and Valiani. This is a continuation of basic operations for the Create software. So I've got my vStudio software opened up here. I'm going to launch the Create software, and we're going to go through and we're going to talk about a couple of different options in here. Some really basic things, more or less, that you may or may not know that exist in the software. Just follow along and just kind of watch what I'm doing here. I'm going to be jumping around a little bit with a couple of the basic functionalities with the program. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add an opening in here. I'm going to call it the opening dimension 3 by 2, and I'm going to position it somewhere over, by just clicking, dragging, and dropping. Wherever I click, drag, and drop, it's going to update the position of it exactly onto the mat. So if I want it into a specific location, say 4.5 and 3 inches, then that's where it's going to be cut onto the mat. Now, I want to go ahead and click on copy and paste, and then I can take that object, drag it around, drop it. Wherever I position it, that's where it's going to cut. Okay, so copy, paste, and then if I want to delete an object, I can delete the object by hitting the delete key. If I want to undo, I would click the undo button. If I want to redo, I redo, and then the next one is group. Unfortunately, you can't group just one object, so let's go ahead and add in a couple more of our design. So I'm going to go to, I've already got it on my clipboard, so I'm just going to go paste, paste, paste. I'm going to select all of those objects. I'm going to jump over here to my arrangement tab. I want to align them all vertically, and then I'm going to put in a space on those vertically of 1 inch. Okay. Now, these objects, as you can see, each little rectangle has these blue squares around them. That means they are independent objects. They're not tied together as a group. So they are individual objects. Now, the program cannot show us the individual information about that particular object or objects because it doesn't know which one you want to look at. When I click off somewhere into the blue, then it says no images selected or no objects. So if I select an object, then I can come over here and say, oh, okay, this is a 3 by 2. It's a single layer, normal cut, 40-degree head, and it's positioned at 4.1599 and 2.8328. Great, perfect. Okay, so now let's click on our next opening. So I'm going to hold the control key down, and I'm going to select the second object. As soon as I do that, again, it can't tell me the information about that because it doesn't know which of the two objects that I'm referencing to. Now, the one thing I want to point out is down here at the bottom, we have our spacing, and it says 1 inch vertically. We know that to be true because when I copied and paste, and then I align them and then space them vertically, I used a 1 inch spacing. So I know that to be the case. Now, as soon as I go to my third object and I hold the control key down, the program, it can't determine more than two objects, what the space is between them. Okay, same with if I add my fourth one in, again, I can't see the spacing. But the next thing that I want to do is I want to group these objects together. So I'm going to click group. Now, once I group it together, you can see that all those little handlebars or the control handles have decreased, and it's looking at these objects as one object now. It looks at it as it's a group, and because it's grouped, it's giving me the overall dimension of the height and the width of these objects. Now, if I like what I'm seeing, but I want to adjust my frame size, and I don't know what my frame size is going to be overall, I can come over here to auto sizing, and it's going to automatically adjust my frame size. So now I've got a 7 by 15 with 2-inch borders, and I'm ready to cut. Now, if I want to adjust my borders, maybe I want to make it 1.5 inches, reduce my overall frame size, I can do so. Now, let me point out, if you've got auto sizing on, so it's got the green highlight on it, you cannot change. So if I want to change my frame size, it will not allow that to happen. The only way it's going to change is based off of adjusting my borders. And then that's going to adjust my frame size.